All right. Hey, everyone. I made it. Okay, Lola. It's all right, Lola. She doesn't know how to turn off her barker. Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry to be late. I'm an hour late for our project. I tried to convey that through a couple of posts. Owen it's his first day of school today. He's starting his sophomore year, and he goes to school in Andover, a private school in Andover, and the transportation was not working, or I don't know. It's Rosh Hashanah, so that possibly could be it. But basically, the people that normally do the transportation are not doing it this year. So I had to drive him up there. And boy, I am so glad I don't do that drive every day. And I kind of feel bad for Owen that he has to do it. But, I need to go back up there to pick him up for the day because nothing is scheduled according to, I did finally hear from our Department of Special Education, and they said, yeah, nobody's working today because it's Rosh Hashanah. So, at any rate, how are you all doing? I am a little frazzled, but happy that Owen's back to school. I'm so excited about this week. It's going to be a fun week. We're ending on Friday night. We're going to have a special event. If you haven't heard about it, you can go to YouTube and be reminded of it just by going to Melody Lane's channel and setting a reminder. I'll put a link in the post once I get this going. Hi, Tara. Hello, Susan. And who else did I see? Good morning, Sharon and Rachel, Tara. I might have said Tara already. Melissa. Hi, everyone. Hi, Lori. And so today, I wanted to remind you that this Friday, so we're going to have classes all week. So today, we had something yesterday. Today we're doing this really lovely banner. And then throughout the week, we'll be doing some fall projects. And then Friday night, we're going to have a little crafty chat. I think that's what they decided to call it. So, it's just going to be a night of inspiration and giveaways. So I do hope that you will tune in and maybe you'll learn about some other people besides me. And hey, there's nothing wrong with following more than one one person for inspiration, right? So let's see. Let's get started with this. So I happened upon this banner. Actually, I did happen upon it last year and I thought about doing it, but then I didn't for some reason. But then I found it again and thought, well, maybe I can make it my own by changing it up a little bit. So I decided to change up the writing, so the home sweet home, which is one of my favorite sayings, and then these leaves, I figured we would change them to foil. I also wanted to add a little bit of dimension, so I'm adding some pop dots to it. And the other thing I noticed is it doesn't have any holes for, I think the dog got it. What do you got? He's got something. Who knows what it is? He's got something, but it sounds like something I made of paper. I wanted to do this at the same size, but I noticed that there's no holes in it. So the first one that I did, I just punched holes with a hole punch, just like this. And you could certainly do this, and I would recommend that you have a hole punch anyway hanging around. But I want to show you how to put a hole in a banner if you happen to come across a banner that doesn't have a hole. Hello. No. Okay, quiet, please. Quiet, please. Only my Benjamin doesn't bark. So I wanted to show you how to do the holes in the banner. I also decided to change the color of some of the leaves to a different shade, and I will show you that as well. So where did I find this project? It was in actually projects. So I'm going to save this and we'll start from projects, okay? So let's start new. I will give you this modified file though. So if you don't want to, I just want you to understand how you can modify even created files, okay? So we're going to go to project, and I just typed in fall. So when you type in fall in projects, you get a lot of fall projects, some things that we've done before, like this turkey pilgrim card, which I love. I might do it again. And then this give thanks card that we did before. But it also has a number of just like fall, Halloween, and different things. Banners. Seems like banners are great in the fall because there's several here. This one, this one, this one, which is small. And then where is the one that, here it is. Cricut Fall Home Sweet Home banner. So you can like that if you want, or you can just click on it and it will tell you a little bit about it. And what it does tell you is that to use faux leather for the brown, but I didn't feel like I wanted to use that much faux leather for the brown because it actually is a very big banner. It's like 30 inches wide, okay? And also it is in with a, you'll notice here it's at, it's got a pen in it. So we're going to hit customize so we can see this on our screen or on a canvas. And there's not much here that needs to be changed, but I think that you need to see what it is. So basically you're going to have 5 of these banners, and they're quite large. They're like, let's see, 8 inches by 5.5. So when you go to cut these out, they're really, really large. If you want to change the size of the project, what I would recommend is just grouping them like that and hitting align center. And then once you have them all centered together, you're going to, just want to make sure I got everything. Yep. Then you can group it if you want, if that helps you. And then you can change the size like this. Okay, or you can change the size up here. And since we don't want to change the size, not for this one, we'll just keep it. We'll use our back button to go back to the original. But there are some things that I do want to change here. And that is, I want to change the color of these small leaves. I don't think they look good in that brown. So I'm going to change the color of that. And you cannot see it, but on these 3 pieces, there is writing. It doesn't show it here, but it is there. And you can see that over here. You see when I have this selected, so over here on the layers part, it shows pen and basic cut. So we're going to use foil today. We'll use the foil transfer sheet. We'll use the large one because we're working on the bigger machine. So I want to show you how to kind of work with that. So to change this to foil, we need to actually select on it. And it's actually, the reason why it's not showing is that for some reason it comes in with the eye part shaded, or so you can't see it, but we have to make it so that we can see it. And then we're going to come over here to operation. You see here, operation, and then use that pull down and choose just below the pan. You're going to choose foil, and let's choose medium. Okay. And you can see it's showing up. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to turn off that eyeball thing so that we can see it. We'll select that pen, operation, foil, medium. Okay. The same thing holds true for this, the Home Sweet Home, which I have selected now. So you can see pen and basic cut. So you can change this or you can leave it. And if you leave it, I would recommend that you use this, which is a medium tip 1.0. It's a gold like marker for Cricut, but we're not going to use that today. So we're going to select just that pen, and we're going back to operation, foil, and medium. Okay, still two more things that we have to do, and that is to recolor these leaves. So the leaves are going to appear on these pumpkin background. And so, and I'm going to put ribbon on them, and I'm going to actually punch out the leaves so that it gives it some dimension. I just don't like, it's too dark. So I want to change the color of the leaves. So I'm just going to change one to a different shade of brown. And once I do that, I can then come over here to color sync. And you will see on Color Sync, there are my three they're the dark brown. They're not that brown that I chose. So I am just going to click on them and drag them to the correct color or the new color. And you'll see them change on your screen. And there you go. So we've made already two changes. We added foil and we added a different color for those leaves. Now we have to talk about adding a hole, so that you can string it up a little better. Now, I think that their thought process on this project was that you would use something called an Eyelet Setter, because it says here that you need eyelets and a setting tool, which is a fun tool, but really not necessary for a banner, especially if you're going to use kind of a medium to heavyweight paper. But they have used it here, and that's why they didn't put the holes there. But we're going to kind of assume that you're not going to use the Eyelet Setter. So what we're going to do is ungroup this one. And we can take this off if we want to, because we're going to actually add circles for the banner. So right here and right here, we're going to add circles. So we're just going to go to Shapes, Insert Shape, and choose a circle. And once we have this circle here, we're going to resize it to, I'd say, like about, I don't know, a 1/4 of an inch, or maybe, we're going to use twine. So let's do it 1/2 inch. That might be a little too big. Maybe we'll just do it 0.4. Let's try that. That seems a good way to do it. And I'm going to actually put the circle on this pumpkin colored, and I don't need to worry about putting a circle in the border. Okay. So you can only do one at a time. So I can just select this and do slice, or I can click on this, duplicate it, decide where I want it to be. So here I want it here, and here I want it over here, just like that. Pull away this and select these two and weld them. The reason why I'm doing that is I want to be able to cut 2 holes exactly where I want to cut them, instead of having to go back and redo it. So I don't know if that makes sense. Probably not a great explanation, but if you want to make it so that both holes are sliced in the same in the same pennant, you can weld them together, okay? I don't necessarily think this is the greatest space, but you can play around with it. And let's see if we can't do this. So this actually not the greatest place. So maybe down a little bit would be nice. Yeah, that would be probably better. So now that we have these two welded circles, we're going to select those two pieces, those two layers, and we're going to slice them. Slice is down at the bottom here. It's got kind of like a circle and a triangle. So you're going to slice them. So when you slice them and you pull away, there are your holes. And then you'll also have what you cut out. It's like a cookie cutter, if you think of it like a cookie cutter. And this is your original cutter, and these are the things that you cut out. Now, because there's 3 of these, just like this, what I would recommend is you put the banner on here, select this, and just duplicate. I forgot to group it, so hold on a second. So here is my banner and my cutout pumpkin. So I'm going to group it, and then I'm going to duplicate it twice. That way I don't have to put the holes in these, okay? So I can get rid of these. So next up is the holes for these. Now these are grouped images, and we will just do one just like we did with the pumpkin. So this is a little bit harder because you're going to, I think you're going to need to put a hole in this, like inside one of the leaves. And so let's have a look at what that's going to look like. So we're going to arrange it to the front, and maybe we should change the color so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm thinking that the holes would be here, and then it's going to be cut through, okay? And then we're going to need for them to also, in fact, let's duplicate this. We're going to need for them to somehow be on the same level as this one here. So you can eyeball this, and you can use your little magnifying glass to sort of see if you're getting it right. I'm sure that there's another way to do this. However, this is how I would do it. It's probably there's probably an easier way to do it, but this is the way I'm going to do it. So here are my holes here and my holes here. So I am going to select just this one and just this one and slice again. You see? And I can get rid of these. And then I'm going to make sure that I arrange this to the back, and sort of then I can see where those holes are. And this is where those holes are. You see? So in this case, I have to sort of select this off-white. I'm going to use cream for that, and I just need to hide that for the given time. And we're going to select this and slice. Okay, so once we slice, we now have the holes in there, and the holes should be properly positioned. Let's get our background there. So here we go. See that? Now they are properly positioned together. We need 2 of these, so let's group them and duplicate. Okay? Let's go back to our smaller view. We don't need this one. And now we have 1, 2, 3 pumpkin ones. They're actually going to go like this. 3 pumpkin ones and 2 of the leaf cutout ones. Then we have our leaves, and then we have our little sign. So we are actually ready to then over to the brown and slice. Yep, that's right, Diana. Diana's real smart. Thank you. So we are actually ready to go ahead and cut this. And since we did foil, we're going to do foiling as well. So let me just hit make it. You're going to see how big this is on the mat. Okay, so on the mat, there's really not much you can do to make these fit unless you want to make them smaller, because they are pretty big. So this project is going to take up 3 sheets of dark brown, 2 sheets of pumpkin, 2 sheets of, actually this here you could move because it's just a little triangle. You could move it over to here, but you have to make sure you move it to the bottom. This is going to be our leaves cut out, and then this last piece is going to be separate, and that's the one we're going to do the foiling for. Okay, so I managed to eliminate one of the sheets of the cream, but you're still going to need 3 12 by 12 sheets of brown, 2 of pumpkin, and 1, you don't need a whole 12 by 12 sheet, but you're going to need a small piece to cut out these alternate color ones. And then this, you can choose to do it in the dark brown or a medium brown. You don't need the whole sheet, but I'm going to use this whole sheet because I want to show you how to get it ready and foil, okay? Because I think a lot of people on the larger machines are a little afraid of foiling. So I wanted to show you how this is gonna work. So let me bring you down here first and foremost. So this is Cricut foil transfer sheets in the 12 by 12. This happens to be the gold one. Let me move this so we have more room. So this is used with this. This is a foil transfer tool, and there are 3 tips in there. There are 3 tips that it comes with for the larger machines. This one with the 2 circles means that it's medium. You can use any tip you want. You don't really need to indicate the tip size. It's only for your, understanding. But this with the 1 is a fine tip, and with a 3 is a bold tip. Okay? So now that you have your tool and ready to go, you're going to take your paper. So here's paper. It's a 12 by 12 inch piece of paper. And we're going to open up this larger package of the foil transfer sheets. Now these are pretty delicate, so I would recommend that you keep them in the package, but we are going to need just 1 sheet, and we're going to also need these long pieces of tape. Okay, so let's just get those 2 out and close this up. Okay, just want to make a little room for us. Okay, so we have our paper on the mat, which is a good thing because if you ever have worked with foil, you don't want that sticky part of the mat to be exposed at the time, because the foil will actually get on your mat. It doesn't ruin your mat, but it does stay there. So we're going to sort of position that over the 12 by 12 piece, and then we're going to take these long strips. We need 4 of them. These, by the way, can be reused. So we're going to start off at the top. I like to do it this way. I do the top and the bottom together, and then I do the sides. So let's get, and it has a bit of a staticky cling to it. So it's sort of the kind of thing is the more you work with it, the better it will go, as with just about everything in life, right? Okay, so that's the second one. We're trying to make it as tight as we can. But the most important thing is to make sure that it's really down in all 4 places. Don't try to skip corners and just do it in 2 places because it could cause a problem. Okay, so that's all we need to do. We need to have our tool and we need to have our piece of cardstock with the foil side facing up. Okay, I think somebody told me they thought it was supposed to go down, but actually no, it's not true. You have to leave the color part or the shiny side up. Okay, and then we're going to go back up here, and we will hit continue, and we'll go to our cutting page. Let's cut just the foil one, which is number 8, and it shows medium foil and a basic cut. You do need to choose a base material, so I'm going to choose medium cardstock, and you can see it's telling me that I need to load the foil transfer tool and tape my gold foil, and then I can load the mat. So we've already got our all set, so we just need to load it and hit go. So we're going to first open up this and take out our housing, and this is where the blade resides, and we're going to take our foiling tip and put that in where we have the blade. Okay, and now we're going to take our mat and put it under those little guidelines and hit the blinking go button, or it's actually load unload button. Okay, so what it's going to do is it's going to do foiling first. Just like with pen, foiling comes out first with cutting, and there is something we're going to have to do in the middle of it. So I'm going to hit go, and we're going to let it go until it's done with the foiling. And you can kind of see why you need to have those 4 sides taped down, because it moves just like it does with the cutting. And so it can go really fast and sort of side to side and up and down. And so you need to kind of secure that in place. Now, in this case, because we're not going to use the entire sheet of foil, when we're done, if I can remove it correctly, or if I can save it, I will just cut off the part that's been used and save it as like scrap, just like any other scrap. But I will put it not in my scrap pile, but back into the what do you call it? The packaging, so that it doesn't get like kind of ruined. This stuff can get kind of scratched, and it will affect your final project if it's too scratchy. I also think you could probably reuse it, but you might get sort of spotty results. But if you're like kind of short on supply of something, you might be able to reuse it in a pinch. So it's all doing our leaves, and then the home sweet home. I think it might almost be done. So when it's done, I have to not remove this from my machine. I cannot remove the mat from my machine, but I am going to lift up the foil on all 4 sides. I'll save the tape around it for another purpose, and then I'll actually put in my blade again, so now it can then cut around all those foil bits. Almost done. I wish I knew like why it goes in what order. I just don't know. It's always fascinating to me. I mean, it's not gonna make any difference knowing, but there you go. I forgot today was Rosh Hashanah, which is like the Jewish New Year. All right. Now, see, there is a temptation to take this out. It comes out almost all the way, but it's still in there pretty good, okay? And so I'm going to remove the tape. And I save these, so because I'm frugal. And I'm going to also remove the foil. Now you might get up here and it's hard to come off, so just try to pull it like this, sort of on an angle. All right, and don't forget to take this out and put in the blade, and then hit that flashing button. And the noise you hear is just me taking the tape off the foil to save my material. And then here, just so you can see, that's the used part. So I can take my scissors and sort of cut off the used part. That's the used part, which I can throw away. And then there's that part that I'm going to save. So I'll put that back into the packaging. Okay, so for time's sake, I did cut out the rest of this, but doesn't this look nice? Home sweet home. It's really beautiful. But again, if you don't want to use foil or you don't have the foil transfer kit, then you can always use a gold marker. And I'm just trying to get this off of this. Whoop. I probably should have chose heavy cardstock, but that's okay. All right, so let's put this thing together. I'm going to move you down, and we'll put this thing together. All right. So here are all our pieces. Now, in this particular one, I cut this out without the holes. So I will give you the file that has the holes in it, I promise. But I did cut it out without the holes because I wanted to show you what you'd have to do if you didn't want to do the holes, okay? So what we're going to do is sort of just kind of set this up. So the first pumpkin banner has this as a border, this brown, dark brown, and then here is my leaf that has the foil, and then here are those two other leaves. So that's going to be one, the first one, and then the next one is the actual, just the cutout on cream. The next one is going to be another one of these. So there's my, actually, another one of these pumpkins with this part here. And then we have our home sweet home and this going in there. And then we have, again, the cream with the cutouts. And then the last one being the leaf with the two extra leaves. Do I have extras here? Is that what I'm doing? That's what I'm doing here? Okay. So that is, yeah, I do have extras. Okay, that's the way that it's going to go. We just need to have all the pieces in place. We don't have to construct it from left to right. Let's start with the middle piece. So this is just simply going to get glued on. The banner is going to get glued on. But I think that I would like to use some pop dots for the home sweet home. And I'm thinking, maybe want to pop dot both the, I don't know, like let's go pop dot crazy. This is called a pop dot, or sometimes it's just called foam mounting circles, or they can be found just about anywhere. And it is a piece of foam that has it has a sticky side on both sides. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these little pop dots. We have to first take off all of these pieces and stick them in there. Now, in the event that you buy your pop dots like I buy them in like a pack like this, you can also use the part that is considered waste, because it's still both sides is adhesive. So I do use that, and it works great for signs such as that. Okay, so there's that one, and let's do the same for this Home Sweet Home one. I might need a few little dots, slightly smaller too. The one thing you don't want to do with pop dots is you don't want it to like show through, and you can usually, if it's too close to the edge, so we're going to just kind of cut it, and here we go. Not a lot of people will be touching this, so you know, you don't have to go crazy with the pop dots, but I do like to have a nice stable environment for my pop dots. All right, and here are a couple that we'll put on for the middle, and we'll might as well use this piece that we cut off. All right, so let's put this together. Okay, first we're going to glue this border on here. I'm using my Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. This is actually the mini bottle, 2 ounces, and it has the precision tip, but not the ultra. And I'm hoping that my glue is going to come out because I didn't check it before we started. So I hope you all had a great Labor Day weekend. My sister's birthday was last Friday, so she always has like Labor Day holiday. The Labor Day holiday always falls on her birthday. So we decided to go to a very old favorite in Reading. It's called Kitty's. And it's just so cute. Isn't that cute? Kitty's. Here. And they're kind of Italian, but they have like one of those menus that is like a gazillion things. They have sandwiches, and I mean, it's a huge menu. It has to be like, I don't know, maybe wide, 12 by 24 inches, and there's like 6 or 7 pages. And it's like, until they come and take your order, you really don't know what you're going to say, because I was like, well, I could have fish. I really like fish, and I haven't had it in a while. Or I could have something Italian, because I like Italian food, and they're kind of famous for that. Or you could even have pizza, sandwiches. I don't know. It was just crazy. And of course, our eyes were way bigger than our stomach, so we went home with a ton of food. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I already glued this part on. I took off the back end of the pop dots, and I tried, but I didn't, because I was talking about kitties. I tried to center this piece, but I didn't get it so great. So let's do it here. That's a little more centered. The pop dots are kind of forgiving. So here we go. Then we're going to put this centered on there. That looks kind of cool. But if you didn't want to do the pop dots on both layers, you don't have to. It's up to you. Is that on there right? Okay, that's on there right. So there is our completed one. And let's go ahead and do the others. This is just a straight glue thing. And here we go. So yeah, that was kind of fun. Kitties in Reading. is it North Reading? It might be in North Reading. You can look it up. It's been there since, I don't know. It's got a real 1940s, 50s feel to it. And of course, we were like the youngest people in there. It's an old favorite of the locals, Kitty's. Reading is a beautiful town, just slightly southwest of Peabody. And it's a very ritzy town. Sadly, you could never touch a home in that area. So expensive. The real estate on the North Shore is so expensive. I mean, I always felt like Peabody was like the place that nobody kind of really gave a lot of attention to, but that was great because you could afford the houses. Now it's listed in, I don't know if it was Real Estate Guide or something, as one of the best places to live in the whole of the United States. I think I might have mentioned that to you guys, but so that just makes it so much harder for new families to come in here. And we're already packed to the gunnels, you know. Okay, so there's that one. And let's do this one. Still have a little more gluing to do, but yeah, so it's sort of packed up here. I've always wanted to live in Maine, so I've been like toying with, wouldn't it be nice to live in Maine? But even up in Maine, things have gotten very expensive. It used to be you could buy a beautiful old house, and I'm kind of partial to the old houses, but you could buy a beautiful old house for like $150,000, like a huge old house. But now that it's just caught on. There's just no way that I would even be able to afford this house now, because I've been in it for about 20 years. Okay, so here is our next pumpkin one. And so we're going to put this leaf on. I'm just going to glue this leaf on, but I'm going to pop dot the smaller leaves just to give it a little dimension. I'm lining up the leaf with this part, and I probably need to move this. And then we've got these two leaves, which they could go like this or like this. I don't think it really much matters. Maybe sort of out like that. So let's take the pop dots and just pop one on each of the backs of those. Might be a little too big, so I guess what I could do is just cut them in half. I really do not like to see my pop dots through on the other side. Like even that, not really super excited about, but it will do. And it does depend on how you'd be looking at this, and so it will be hanging up. So I have to do that ride again today. So I have to go back. And it took me 2 hours to get there and back. And then so I got to do it again. So today, 4 hours driving. I do not like to drive. So for me, that's like, ugh. Well, this actually is not the same one. But I'll do anything for my son, of course. Okay, so there we go. So we pop dotted these. Then we're going to get some ribbon. So look, here is the ribbon that I chose. It was just a little... a very small spool of ribbon that I cut. It was probably like maybe 2 yards or maybe not even 2 yards that I got from American Crafts. I don't think, do I have here. I don't even know if you can find it, but this is what I originally, it's called AC American Craft, and it was 4 feet, so not even 2 yards, right? Because a yard is 3, so not even 2 yards. So I cut it in 4 equal pieces because I knew I was making 2 of these, and this is how I make my bows. So I make 2 loops and then pass this loop in through here. Like this. And I want the colorful side to show, so I got to move all those little pieces around. Here we go. Got to move this. Now, you might have a better way to do bows, then go for it and tell the rest of us, but this is how I do them. All right. And the tails on them are a little too long, so I am going to just snip them. And snip. Okay. And then I'm just going to put it on here with glue. That's it. I'm going to put a little bit of glue there. All right. I will need to hold it for just a second. And once we have all of our banners done, boop, come on. Of course, if you had a hot glue gun that would heat up real quick, I used this. No, I don't really like the way this is coming out. I'm sorry, folks. Let me just pull this up. Ugh. I mean, I've been making bows for years. They still never get easy. I did have, like, way back when, I used to have this thing called a bow dabra, and that was pretty cool, but it was kind of big. It's just like this big plasticky thing. So for a little tiny bow, it would seem sort of weird to bring out the bow dabra, wherever it might be. I'm sure I kept it somewhere. Okay, so we're just gonna like kind of let that glue sort of hang on there, and while we're finishing up our other pieces. So just do this. Yeah, even renting around here has become astronomical. I just feel bad for the young families because, like when I came here, I hadn't had Owen yet. So, you know, I guess I was considered a young family. We were just a couple. But then, you know, we've had it's been challenging, but we've had a good experience with working with a child that's on the spectrum here in Peabody, and then thinking, like, I mean, at a certain point he had to go for outplacement, and they've been so awesome about that. Now Owen is starting to complain about and I see exactly what he means, but he's starting to complain about the not having time, because sometimes when he gets out of school at 3:00, and sometimes he doesn't get home, depending on the traffic, until after 5. So he can't do anything extracurricular. And he has a really interesting real interest in, like, being on the school yearbook and taking photos. He likes taking photos, and they just don't have that there. I've talked to the director, And she said, yeah, they don't have that. So he's been talking to me about possibly moving closer, but that's, we had to wait for this year to start so he could find something closer. And frankly, he's been doing that for 5 years. And actually, they moved the campus to Andover. And it used to be in Methuen, which is right up on the border of New Hampshire, and it just too much. So for 5 years, he's been going every day, and even during COVID, because they were open when the local schools were not. And it's always a problem when it's like there's a snow day. Now I guess they don't have snow days because the kids can work from home. But when there was like weather up in the Merrimack Valley, we would be like, okay, they're going to have school today or not? We didn't know. So there's that. I think that this banner would look really lovely also in a smaller format. So don't worry about resizing it. Maybe what I'll do is I will actually resize it and put it on the same file. I can hear Lola. She's fast asleep and she snores. So I can hear her snoring. Okay. So there we go. This is the last bit. Let's make our little bow. And see if I get this right. Okay. If you don't want to do the bow, you don't have to. If you hate bows, you don't have to. You could also change up the colors of some of these. You could use maybe some of your fall paper, but you can always change it up because this is going to be your project. All right. So while we wait for that glue to dry, we're going to take our hole puncher. Here's the hole puncher, and I'm just going to put the hole here and here. This hole puncher is so old. I don't think they've changed much, and it's like, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch maybe. You can buy smaller if you want, but I figure using twine is going to look really nice. Okay, and let's see. I hope that stays on, just like that. Of course it's not staying on. Yours will stay on because you'll have the patience of waiting until it does actually. What am I doing? All right. Personally, I would rather have the machine do the circles, but this is in case you forget. Or maybe you like to use your punches. I don't know. All right, so then all that's left is to string it up. This is just plain old twine. I'm getting like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3. Let's check and see how much I'm going to get. 1, 2, yeah, a little bit, maybe a little over 3 feet because it's a 40-inch banner. And the way that it's going to go is this way, just like that. So I'm going to start with my first leaf. I'm going to go in the top loop and out. and come up through the second one, pull my leaf. Then the next one is this one, doing the same thing, in and then out. Now, if you wanted to, you know, no one's saying that you have to do it this way. You could do it the other way. I'll show you how that looks. So here it is. You could do it this way. And across like this, but that is entirely up to you. Also, if your twine gets frayed, you can also put a little piece of tape on there so that it won't, or you could just be lazy like me and pinch the thing and just ram it in there like that. Whoops. 2, 3, 4. This is my fourth one. And then the last one here. Now, this, I think, is such a lovely... Look, my bow fell off. It's just a really lovely banner. And you know what? I still have my 4th of July banner up because, I don't know, because I'm really short and I couldn't reach the... I couldn't reach where the banner is. So I left it up, and it doesn't matter. It's just red, white, and blue, so no biggie. But here you go. There it is. I wish I could get up here. Let me just try to get a better look at it. But it's really pretty, isn't it? And just a few bits of paper and a couple of, like, things of ribbon. You don't have to use the ribbon, but it's really cute, I think. If you want, you can tie a knot in the end here, and then you are done. Yay! That's it for today, folks. Wow. Hey, I got that in under an hour. Pretty good. So, let's see. Tomorrow we are going to be we're going to be using some old images. And we are going to be making a shaped card with some old images. I'm going to show you how to create a shaped card using an image. And you can either use offset, but some of the older images actually already have a shadow layer. So I want to show you how to do that too. So that's tomorrow. And yeah, we're just going to have a great time this week. And again, I still am giving away my my Lilac Cutie. So definitely get your name in for that. Even if you already put your name in, you can still like just watch and share and all of that to get the Cutie. And then starting this weekend, we'll be doing the Bundle of Joy giveaway. I'm still fussing with this ribbon. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Hopefully I won't have to take my kid tomorrow. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's so detailed, and it's great that this cutout is just so amazing. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for coming today. Thanks for your patience. And we will see you again tomorrow, hopefully at the same time that we, if not, I will reschedule the time ahead of time. Okay? Thanks. Have a wonderful day. Take care.